Mike needs to complete a very important work project due in only a week. But of course, instead of getting started right away, he prefers to order a pizza and play some video games. After all, the project is only due in a week, so he's got time, right? To make himself feel better about procrastinating, Mike tells himself, "Oh, it's okay, I can relax, I've earned it. I'll just do it first thing in the morning tomorrow." But then, the next morning rolls around and Mike is just laying in bed, lazily scrolling on his phone, watching TikTok reel after TikTok reel, instead of getting up, preparing himself a healthy breakfast to fuel his body and his mind, and getting straight to work. Before he even realizes it, 30 minutes have gone by, and Mike is still watching the TikTok reels his friend sent him. Now finally he decides to get out of bed, but since he's already behind on his schedule, he grabs a few donuts and calls it a breakfast. Then he sits down at his desk and tries to get some work done. But it's very hard to do that when his phone keeps buzzing with notifications every 10 seconds. Mike decides to get started with an easier task instead of doing the project. After all, he's got time. It's only due in 6 days. The clock is ticking, and before Mike realizes it, it's already time to go to bed. Feeling unsatisfied with himself, Mike tells himself he'll get to work tomorrow. Now by now, I think you will have already guessed what is going to happen the next day. So be honest, is this you? Chances are, if you did relate to that short story, you procrastinate a lot more than you would like. You're ambitious, you have big goals, but for some reason, you just can't make yourself sit at your desk and do the boring work that you need to get done. So how do we fix this? Have you ever asked yourself, where does procrastination come from? Why do I even procrastinate? Plenty of people think that they're lazy, that there is something inherently wrong with them, and that is the reason why they can't focus. I'll tell you something. At some point in my life, just a couple years ago, I was broke and completely depressed. And so naturally I used to procrastinate a lot. And one thing I would do is that I would try to do things perfectly right from the start. I would just do so much that I would end up self-sabotaging myself and my progress. I'd go right back to square one. I'd do things right for 3 days, but because I had done so much for my current level, I couldn't do anything and get stuff done for the next month. If you think that to be productive, you need to get up at 5 a.m., eat extremely healthy, exercise an hour a day, or do all of those things, meditate, let me tell you that it's not the case. Some of the most productive people you'll find, they simply wake up, grab a cup of tea or of coffee, and they get straight to work. They get stuff done. They don't have a 10-hour long morning routine. That's not necessary. It's kind of like in the self-improvement community, they say you need to take cold showers. And sure, it's a good practice, but just because you take cold showers does not mean you're going to get rich. I mean, Warren Buffett drinks Coca-Cola. Does it mean that if you drink Coca-Cola too, you'll become a billionaire? Obviously not. But for most people, the real reason why they can't get themselves to do the work, why they constantly procrastinate, it's because they are not emotionally connected to a very powerful driver. So what do I mean by this? You might know what you want out of life. You might know that you want more money. Maybe you want to be able to spend more time with your family. Maybe you want to take the person that you love out to dinner and pay the bill, take care of them. So you know what you want. But for some reason, it's still not enough to drive you to do the work. That's what happens when you are intellectually connected to a goal, but not emotionally attached to it. Because I'll tell you one thing, when you're a bit sick, a bit unmotivated, or a bit tired, you're not going to want to go and to do the work. And especially if you are self-employed, it's your responsibility to get stuff done. You don't have a boss, so no one is going to tell you you need to start working now, otherwise you're not going to get paid. So really take the time to ask yourself, why do you do things? Why do you get out of bed every morning? Why do you try and work so hard? I personally find my own fulfillment from setting big goals and achieving them. I need constant progress in my life to feel some kind of satisfaction. Because I will tell you this, if your only reason for starting a business is so that you can get a nice car, it's great. But during the tough times, it's not going to be enough to push you to do the work. I'm not saying it shouldn't be one of your motivations. In fact, I love cars. I love Ferraris specifically. But you should have deep, powerful reasons why you do things. Like I said, it could be taking care of your future family, providing for the people that you love. Usually a deep why is going to involve more people than just you. Because think about this, when you're in love, you would do anything for the person that you love, right? But you wouldn't even do a tenth of that for yourself. So we easily let ourselves down, but not the people that we love. So if you make it about them instead of making it about you only, you'll find that you can push yourself so much more than you initially thought. Now, most people don't actually understand how motivation works. They think that to get started, they need to be motivated. In reality, motivation works the other way around. It comes from result. The more you do one thing, the more you'll get results naturally, because you'll get better at doing that thing. And it's going to motivate you to keep going. Because I can tell you this right now. If you go to the gym, let's say, you work hard, really hard, but you don't get results, you don't lose weight, or you don't build muscle, how long are you going to stick to it? Not very long. And that is why when people start a business around their passion, they think it's a great idea. Because since they love what they do, they will never feel like they're working. Or that's what mainstream culture tells them. Because let's say you love playing the guitar. You start a business around it. You record yourself playing the guitar and you make tutorials on YouTube how to play certain songs. If at the end of a year or 2 years you haven't made any money with that business, trust me when I say that most likely you will hate playing the guitar. The reason being you didn't get any results from all of your work. Motivation is a cycle. The more you get results, the more you'll want to keep doing it. Usually when we are passionate about something, it's because we naturally are good at that thing. That's the irony. Now something else is that you need to understand that working for the sake of working is completely pointless. Did you know that on the average 8-hour workday, most people are only really being productive for 2 to 4 hours at the maximum? This means that by working in a state of deep work, of focused work, you can cut down your work hours in half and get as much done, if not more, than most people would do in twice that amount of time. There's a rule I personally like to follow. When I work, I just work. I'm not being distracted, I'm not responding to text messages, I'm not going on social media, I just work. But then when I play, when I relax, I play. I don't go and do some kind of work-related activity. When I spend time with the people that I love, I'm not going to be on my phone replying to work emails. Work hard, play hard. When you do this, it will allow you to be fully present in each activity. Because if you spend time with your family, with your friends, with your loved ones, but at the same time you're working on your computer, how efficient is your work going to be? And how much quality time are you really going to spend with your loved ones if you mix the two together? Now something else which will help you to completely skyrocket your productivity levels is routinizing your day. Understand this, we are creatures of habit. Our thoughts, our actions are mostly on repeat. If you analyze what a week in your life looks like, chances are you do the same things very often. Maybe you think the same things very often. In fact, most of our thoughts are subconscious. Maybe you even eat the same things frequently. For instance, I almost always eat the same kind of foods. So naturally, if you can take advantage of the way that we are programmed to be, you can get way better results. To give you an example, if you find yourself being quote-unquote lazy, you don't want to work out, yet you still want to get in shape, you need to turn it into a habit. At first, it's going to be difficult. The habit is not built. But then when it's been a month, 2 months, 3 months that you've been going and exercising every day, now when you miss a workout, you'll feel strange, something will be kind of off. And so whereas before you dreaded working out, now you dread skipping a workout. Step 5. Eat the frog. Now contrary to popular belief, successful people do not have a superhuman level of willpower compared to the average person. In reality, it's just that they got into the habit of doing something, and so now they keep doing it easily. It's ingrained in them, it's a part of them. For instance, when you start a service-based business, let's say you have to reach out to 100 people a day, 1,000 people a day. At first, it seems very daunting, very hard to do. You don't feel like doing it, you don't want to sit down at your desk and to do it. You don't want to do deep work. But then if you get into the habit of doing deep work, let's say for the first hour of the morning, every day of the week, you'll see that naturally you'll get in the habit of doing it, and it will be much easier to do it again. And successful people do not like to feel pain or to do difficult things, boring things, more than most people. But they simply have such a strong reason behind why they're doing things that they will do the things that suck, even if they suck. Because they know that the outcome is worth so much more than the price they have to pay to get there. At the end of the day, becoming successful, whether it be in school, in your work, or even in your business, it all comes down to how many sacrifices are you willing to make. If you want to build a strong and muscular physique, you'll have to make sacrifices. You'll need to watch what you eat. You won't always be able to eat sugar or junk food whenever you want. You'll have to put time in the gym, and it's hard. You'll be sweating. You'll be out of breath. Instead, you could just lay in bed or on the couch and watch Netflix. But understand this, in any choice that you make in life, you'll have to make sacrifices anyway. You'll have to feel pain no matter what you do. Because being successful is painful. You'll need to work a lot to get to that level. To miss out on parties, on fun dates, on holidays, until you actually end up successful. But hey, being broke is difficult too. If you're very ambitious, it's going to make you depressed. You won't be able to take the people that you love to dinner and to pay the bill. You won't really be able to enjoy your life. You'll have to get up early every day and go work for a boss who doesn't even care about you. You'll most likely feel like you're undervalued and underpaid compared to the amount of effort and of time that you put into your work. And not only that, there are many experiences that you won't be able to afford because either you won't have the time or you won't have enough money. So stop trying to always escape pain because that is impossible. Instead, choose what outcome you're willing to suffer for. Because if you don't make that choice yourself, life will make it for you, but you run the risk of ending up very disappointed. Step 6. Give yourself rewards. Now that's something I struggled with a couple years ago. I was really hooked to the hustle culture. I thought that I needed to sacrifice absolutely everything to become successful. In reality, that is simply not true. As long as you get stuff done, you do the work, you can allow yourself some time to focus on your hobbies, to spend time with your friends, with your loved ones. Life isn't all about just working for the sake of working. If you're like me, you work because you want to reach a certain goal. Step 7. Use a timer or don't. If you struggle to focus, I highly recommend that you start using a timer. Do deep work sessions of, let's say, 45 minutes up to 60 minutes, and then you can take a 15-minute break and then do another session. You can usually do 2 to 3 deep work sessions in a row. Now, as you start to develop that ability to focus intensely on a task, you might end up realizing that setting a timer is very limiting, because some tasks will take longer to finish than others. And sometimes the issue is that setting a timer can actually disrupt your state of flow. Understand this: when you start an activity, whether it be working, cooking, speaking to a friend, reading a book, literally anything, you enter something which we call a state of flow. It's basically a state of focus, of concentration. And anytime something disrupts you, let's say a notification popping up on your phone, a timer going off, somebody knocking at your door, interrupting you, it will take around 15 minutes to get back in the flow of what you were doing. So each little interruption kills your focus and steals your time away from you. That is why sometimes, if you want to focus very deeply on something, don't set a timer. Just work, and you'll feel like after an hour and a half or 2 hours, you'll naturally want to take a break because you can't focus anymore. Step 8. Give yourself some time to rest. Now, if you listen to a lot of Gary Vee podcasts, you're going to hate what I'm saying. But the truth is that you cannot be always working, always be grinding. When you're always on, you're never on. That's the thing. Because you're human. Our cognitive abilities are limited. We can't be doing 12 hours of focused, deep, productive work every single day. We're not robots. At the end of the day, the reason why I started an online business instead of going down the slow career route is because I wanted to obtain a life of freedom and of abundance for myself. I wanted to be able to pick my own schedule, to work from wherever I wanted in the world, to not have to answer to a boss, and to make as much money as I wanted to. I didn't start a business to become my own slave and to have more of a job than an actual job. My goal is personally not to work for money, but to have money work for me while serving my own personal life. If you are interested in starting a business, but you have no clue what to do, I have recorded a free video in which I'm going to analyze every popular online business model. Together, we'll take a look at the pros, at the cons, and I am also going to share with you, for completely free, the 3-step process that you can use to start your own business today and get your first customers as quickly as possible. The link is in the description below. Now, I sincerely believe that if you apply the 8 steps we have covered in this video, you will never need to watch another video on procrastination ever again.